Okay, so Jimmy's been wondering how I make tacos, and it's really, really easy. Um, I'm going to fry up the meat right now. This is actually Jennie-O turkey meat, just one package, and we're going to brown the meat. Got the flame about medium right now. Cooks pretty fast. Just going to stir it around. And I'm going to add some onion because it just gives it a little bit more flavor. So I got about maybe a half a cup of onion, just a piece that was left over from another meal. I chopped it up already, and learned this trick from my Auntie Eva, who taught me to cook. If you slip a little bit of the cooking oil, which I added already, off to the side, you can pour the onions in where the juice is and stir it around a little bit. Usually you want to stir it till it gets a little translucent instead of white, which happens pretty quickly. So we just keep watching that meat off on the side, cutting it up in little pieces as we go. I love this pan. I use this same pan all the time. It's I got mine at Macy's for like $15, but I like the way the heat is just evenly distributed, and I never have to worry about it not cooking all the way around. It's a really great pan. So you can see it's getting brown, and the onions are getting a little bit off-white now. And we're just about ready to add in. We're doing this kind of a small scale meal this evening because I'm not making a lot of meat. No company's coming and don't have to cook for a lot of people. So this is just a little easy meal. Since nobody's coming over for dinner, I'll probably use this for maybe 2 meals. Gonna mix the onions together now with the meat. And as soon as this meat is totally brown, then I'm going to add tomato sauce to it. It's just about there. And then we're going to let it simmer in the tomato sauce. So just chopping up that meat, make it nice and small. In the camera it might look like it's still pink, but in person it's pretty brown. Just something about the color. So you can see the onions are becoming much more translucent now. And it's just about ready to add the tomato sauce. So again, I'm going to show you the meat was this Italian seasoned ground turkey. And I use it a lot for everything. It comes in just regular turkey meat, but it comes in taco seasoned turkey meat, which I use sometimes. But the Italian seems to me to just have a better flavor, so that's the one I'm using tonight. And we've got the meat all browned here. Doesn't have to be brown, just has to be no pink. So it's looking good. And now we're going to add the tomato sauce. This is Hunt's tomato sauce, and it actually has basil, garlic, and oregano already in it, which is great. So I'm gonna pour it in there, and those seasonings will add flavor to the meat as well. And I'm just gonna stir it up, and the sizzle's gone away because we've added that cold sauce. So it'll come back up to a boil pretty fast. And you can add salt and pepper to this if you'd like the taste. I usually don't do that because when we put the taco together, we're going to add cheese, and the cheese already has the salt flavor to it, so don't really need to add much of anything else. Now you can see it's bubbling quite fast. And to keep it from burning, we're going to turn the flame down from medium to low. And get the lid. And put the lid on top. And we're going to just let this simmer. Probably, it's not too much in the pan. So I think we'll just let it simmer for, like, we'll check it in 6 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer up here for 6 minutes. And my timer is going to cook it for 6 minutes. So I'm probably going to stir it at least once before the 6 minutes arrives. And it'll be pretty much ready in 10 to 15 minutes at the most. Pretty easy way to fix a dinner. So now we got the meat cooking. The next step would be to grate some cheese and have that ready to add to our tacos. Grate the cheese, and also 2 ways you can take care of the tortilla. You can either heat it up on the burner here and just flip it over back and forth, the small corn tortillas, and wrap the soft corn tortilla, put the meat in the middle, and add your cheese and lettuce and tomato, and sometimes cilantro is good with it. And that'll pretty much do it. However, if you want to fry the tortilla, that's another additional process. Some people like their tortillas fried. So I'll add that on in just a minute. Okay, so while the meat is cooking, I have been heating up these tortillas. The reason you heat them up, if you take them out of the refrigerator and you put them in the oil, they'll tend to break apart really easily. So I have a little bit of virgin oil, olive oil cooking here, and I'm going to, now that the tortilla is hot, I'm going to dip it in the oil. And I use some tongs because they're kind of hot. Just dip it in there. I usually fit 3 in a little pan like this. And we'll have fried tortillas with our tacos. As I mentioned before, the other option would be to just use the heated tortilla, and you don't have to fry it if you don't want to. I just use the extra virgin olive oil. This is Trader Joe's. I usually use Pompeo, but this is the one I have today. So the oil was hot when I put the little corn tortillas in there, so it doesn't take long at all to fry and cook. And I'm only making for me today, so there's only 3. But sometimes if you don't heat them first on the grill, they will tend to fall apart. So it's looking good. They cook really fast, and our meat is already cooked. And I'm going to get a plate and put a paper towel on the plate, because the oil from the tortillas is going to get absorbed in the napkin. So here's a little napkin, and I'm going to put this right here, and we're going to take this taco off of the grill, and this one, and you can just let them sit there. And if I was cooking for more people, I'd put the next batch in. Usually cook 3 at a time in this small pan. And that's it for the tortillas. And while the meat was cooking, it's been more than 15 minutes that it's finished cooking. Here it is right here, looking good. And while the meat was cooking, I chopped up some cilantro. This time I'm going to use cabbage instead of lettuce, but just for a different flavor. And then I chopped up some tomatoes. So that's what you do while your meat is cooking. You can have a couple of options with the cheese. You can grate sharp cheddar cheese, which gives your taco a really good flavor, or you can get the pre-mixed cheeses that you find in the deli department of your store. So this will probably work just fine. Now we're going to take the taco shells over here, and I just use Mission yellow corn tortillas. Sometimes if you're allergic to gluten, some people like the no gluten yellow corn tortillas. This time we're just using the regular ones. And they come in, some come in a very small size, but this is the size that works for me. And you can make mini tacos too. So pretty much we're ready to go. We got our tortillas, we got the meat cooked, and we got our additions to the taco. And I'm going to get a big spoon over here and fill the taco shells. So I'll next reel will be the tacos done. I can't hold the camera and fill the tacos at the same time, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so here's the tacos with the meat inside, and there's my meat pan. I'm going to put this off to the side back on the stove just to get it out of the way. And then I usually put the cheese on first because the cheese will melt from the heat of the meat, and it gives it a nice flavor when it's all melted. So that just goes on quite easily. And like I said, I'm only making this for me, so I don't need a lot of ingredients. And I have the cilantro and the tomato, and it's going to go on here too. And the cabbage. If you go to like a taco truck, they usually use cabbage. A lot of people use lettuce, but cabbage just gives it a nice flavor. So we're putting a little cabbage on here tonight. And it gives it a good flavor. And I've got my 3 tacos, and then I'm going to add some tomato. And that's pretty much how I make pretty tasty tacos. So I usually serve them up on a plate. If I had guests, you know, we put them all on a big platter, line them up like this, and sometimes I'll just serve them on a big platter and everybody can just grab how many they want to eat. But that's pretty much it. And not too many leftovers, but the meat that's left over, I'm probably going to have enough for another meal. I can either make some more tacos out of this meat, or I can use it I can add like some mushrooms to it and use it for spaghetti sauce. So that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow. It keeps a really good flavor for a few days, and I'll store it in a airtight container, put it in the refrigerator, and then pull it out for another meal. So that's pretty simple. Do it yourself dinner for one. And easy cleanup. However you want to put your other things together, works out just fine and dandy. All right, over and out. Hope you like it. Bye.